Well, Stephen, you must be wondering how your side haven't won that tonight with the amount of chances wasted there.
Well, I am wondering, but I've actually worked out what it was. We stopped doing what we were doing in the first half. We thought the game became too easy. We started taking extra touches. We started playing as individuals. You know, we had a couple of opportunities where players broke forward and there's other players in better positions to pick them off, to get shots off, and suddenly players started taking a few liberties because they thought the game was too easy. But you always know when it's 1-0, you need the second goal. You know, that was the message at half-time. Yes, I patted them in the back at half-time, but I was ruthless in the way I wanted them to go about the second half. I wanted them to go out and take the game away from Dundee. You know, when you have opportunities like we had, you know, we had plenty of chances first half, but we didn't have enough of the target. You know, we've got four young strikers, and none of them look like scoring. That's a concern. You know, when you're creating the amount of chances we're creating, and your strikers don't look like scoring. So, you know, to be better all over the pitch, you have to improve whatever you do. And if it means scoring goals or being more ruthless, that's what they have to do. So, probably disappointed with the last half hour of the game. You know, we let Dundee back into it. You know, credit to them, they stuck in, they rode their luck. That's what you do in football. Until you put a team to the sword, until you really take the game away from them, the game's always alive.
Yeah, and following that St Johnstone game, when we spoke to you post-match, there was a lot of frustration there, and the boys really did follow that up with an impressive first half, but like you say, almost a little bitter taste at the end there, the fact that it's come away with disappointment.
Well, they almost undo all the good work in the first half of your second half. And football can be funny sometimes because people coming away from the game, you know, because it started so long ago, people only really remember the last 10 or 15 minutes, or the last thing somebody done with the ball sometimes. So, if it had been good in the second half as opposed to the first, you'd probably coming away feeling a little bit better. But I just felt it was 2 points dropped. You know, I said ahead of the game, if we'd won tonight, we'd have went top of the table. We couldn't cope. You know, whether it was the pressure of that, or under 20 pressure. They couldn't do it last week against St Johnstone. If they'd won, they could have went top. So you start questioning the mentality of people. You know, I said I make notes every week about players, and it's the same notes every week. And we do training sessions, and we reiterate, and it's not happening. That's the frustrating bit. You know, that's what you get with young players, where you're trying to encourage them as much as you can, but somewhere along the line they have to take responsibility. Whether it's a pass, whether it's a shot, whether it's a cross, whether it's defending, it's their career. You know, we're only here to kind of facilitate and try and improve them and move them on. So I'm a bit frustrated again because I felt as if we should have won the game. You know, creating the chances we did, some super first half performances, but as I say, I think a few let themselves down in the second half.
A few experienced players in the Dundee side as well, with Scott being in goal, Scott Allen, Gadulov as well. And for the boys here at Dens Park, a good experience for them to take away from, isn't it?
Well, it didn't frighten them. You know, sometimes you go to a bigger pitch in a bit of a stadium, you know, I know there's no crowd at it, but sometimes it can freak people a little bit. But, you know, they played a normal game, you know, which was good. They took the ball, they tried to play, they tried to pass. So there was no fear, certainly. You know, when you see those kind of quality of players, you wonder what they're going to be like. You wonder how they're going to cope. Can we cope with it? And we did. Absolutely no doubt about it. You know, we completely matched them and we're far better for long spells. But it's about that ruthless thing. You know, it's about taking opportunities and putting teams to bed. So we have to go back and work again. That's all we do. You know, we go back and we continually work and we continually pose them questions. You know, we try and get them to solve all the problems they can. If they can't do it, then we get someone else in. That's what happens in football. So I'm annoyed, I'm frustrated. I'm proud of them at times as well. You know, the way they play, and I get after them. And you know, we have to demand the highest standard every single time they go on the pitch for their own sake, so they can move on. But yeah, today was hugely disappointing.
Well, thanks, Casey.